Honorable sisters, brothers, and friends, I walked into my office and I said, well, I think I'll just put the tape of a video of Preacher Doc Truths 24/7 for today. And salute the Sochi Games. And in my opinion, various nations could be proud of what they have and are achieving and will achieve. There's this statement by yours truly that, in my opinion, people's governments are better. That's just a fact, the way it is. Now, I want to mention that, I don't want to have a prepared speech or even prepared notes. Just emphasize what I have achieved, therefore who I really am. And if I'm forced to show the contrast with Homo Hoover, it's a sheer drop in morals and intellectual substance, etc. Now, I had mentioned that I think man should honor beauty, and beauty is these girls who are really worthy. That's just about all girls are, or certainly can be worthy. It depends, I think, on circumstances. And that might be true of a lot of things. Like, I'm forced to mention that the crackpot so-called weirdos in Washington come up with something where they force their gyrationists with their wives and children where I'm at. Well, now they have the right, because maybe I pass by where I go all the time, they've never been there, but they show up. But now, somehow I've included myself in their group, so they have a right to then commit crimes that they want to commit. You say that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, they are pathetic, psycho, criminally insane Hooverists. No, I show that for contrast of those who are progressing. And I say smile. They can smile. They can be happy. They are a better system. And they're obtaining always better people who also now will progress to be a better system and better nation. That's an absolute true fact. Now, if about me personally, I shouldn't have maybe tried crooning "Smile" yesterday, because that's I impromptu do at the moment. Kind of wrote and tried to croon a couple of notes. While I mentioned there are various songs, and I sang the beginning of a real good song, and it's still winter time, and there's still rustic leaves, and absolute good song is Autumn in New York. that those words in that tune bring about the fact of rustic leaves and the tranquility of an orchard, like up in my area, is famous for the Macintosh apple. And when I was putting around with ideas as far as computer that could do the mathematics for me, because that's I've only had a limited amount of mathematics in the time. Up came a Mac apple with a bite on it, and so that time of the year is real great. Autumn in New York. So I always looked forward to that. And then it was the beginning of the academic school year. And I was completing 4 years and 3 with A's in physics and math. And it was, I believe, in a coeducation. And so it was a great time, set what I had planned for future years and always have followed that, regardless of anything that somebody else done that was not good for even themselves. I mean, in the space race, they call it a space race, the Washington bureaucrats, and I think Johnson was in charge of that. They don't mention that because they didn't win. Johnson is the fellow who took over when President Kennedy got shot in Texas. I think, if I recall, Johnson was in charge of that, and they had Von Braun. He was going to be number one. And I says, no way with this true American. No. In fact, I think you should do it my way. No, they did it the Braun's way, and they came. The only thing that surprised me, because the other ones did it the way I would do it, was the weight. The only thing that surprised me. I say this because I'm forced to. People in the world, no matter what, they don't have to spend money to show off that they were second, now they're first. First in what? In experimenting on your own people, men, women, and children? Spending all that money, while over here, especially now, they have a black president. Well, they had a black commander in Vietnam because they were rioting and saying, hey, especially the blacks there. And I said, that's wrong. They're poor. You're forcing them to go over there and get killed when nobody of the senators and representatives and rich people, the bankers on Wall Street, none of their kids are going to Vietnam. You understand? So, with a commander-in-chief, yeah, you go over there and get killed because, look, they tried that in Vietnam and it didn't work. And it's not working here. You can't have a sort of somebody that is supposedly in charge that's under the gun, that knows it has to do that or else end up like Kennedy or Martin Luther King. I'm forced to say that in order to present myself because with injuries and age and circumstances of their crimes, I'm trying to survive. How am I going to smile? Well, I'm going to try, and I'm going to keep up my the truths 24/7 and croon a tune. Like the Ave Maria That I think I have to make sure I have all the words in Latin and maybe practice that. Ave Maria. It's in my opinion, it's the best tune, not because it's religious, the words and the tune. In my opinion, that's the best tune. And you have other great songs. I might try songs of another country and maybe in their language. But I say that, I say this because I think it's true. In conferring with Einstein, I realized that when you do your best work, and you do it in the language you're using at that time, in order to reminisce at least, or in order to recall and go over the quantity and quality of that achievement, you have to recall in the language you did it in. And that's why he wanted me to speak German. And that's why I said, well, the only German I really know from my college days is Ein, drei, zwei, vier, who's going to buy the beer? And he laughed. So for me, it's in my guttural English, my New York accent, that scared. Enrico Fermi, there were two top scientists came over here from Italy with him, and I have conferred with both of them at length. And one of them, I actually conferred in person at his home while we had, I think it was a cognac. We had a couple of them, and etc. And then he said something about my New York speaking voice, and I had to agree. I said, okay, I apologize. Yeah, that's played a little baseball, etc. So this is really me, always striving to do better. And that's the way I'm putting forth this for myself, and of course, my family, myself, my sisters and brothers here and everywhere, and friends here and everywhere. So, what can I now do? Well, in my opinion, they say this is a man's world, and I believe men should lead, definitely in war. I'll agree with Patton there. Man's greatest challenge, according to Patton, is the military decisions. I'll agree, war is man's obligation and duty. So I think, though, women should be honored more, and more should be on their real beauty. Absolutely. So I think what I'm going to do is to walk through I'll be loving you always, each day up until Valentine's Day. By that time, I think I may be able to know all the words and the tune, and maybe I can present it in as good a manner as I possibly can. So, starting in my next, because it's 15 minutes, I'm going to walk through I'll Be Loving You Always for all the beautiful girls out there. Thank you. Have fun.